Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dana with the Data. Yes. Before we get started, please hit the like button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share the video, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell button to get all notifications on when I drop videos and go live. So now let's get into it. Conservative commentator Candace Owens just canceled her entire HBCU tour. And what happened at Florida A&M University reveals everything you need to know about the real battle happening on Black college campuses right now. But here's what the mainstream media isn't telling you. This isn't just about one canceled event. This is about a systematic effort to silence conservative voices at historical Black colleges. And the story goes way deeper than you think. I'm going to break down exactly what happened, why multiple schools are blocking these appearances, and what this means for the future of free speech on HBCU campuses. First, let's establish what we're dealing with. Blexit stands for Black Exit. It's a conservative organization founded in 2018 under Turning Point USA. Their mission? To encourage Black Americans to leave the Democrat Party and embrace conservative values like economic independence, nuclear family values, and patriotism. Now, Blexit decided to launch their Educate to Liberate campus tour during HBCU homecoming season. And if you know anything about HBCU culture, you know homecoming isn't just a football game. It's like a massive family reunion. Alumni travel from across the country, students celebrate their heritage, and the entire community comes together. The original tour was supposed to hit major HBCUs like Florida A&M, Jackson State, Tennessee State, North Carolina Central, Howard, and Hampton University. But here's where things get interesting. On October 17th was supposed to be the big day at Florida A&M University during their Eternal World Tour homecoming celebration. But then suddenly the event was canceled. No clear explanation from organizers, just gone. The reaction was immediate and intense. Students and alumni took to social media with mixed responses. Some said homecoming is for the culture, not for political PR. Others argue that canceling the event showed they were afraid of open dialogue.
If you can't sense freedom in the position that you're in, we're inviting you to take a walk to the other side.
Blexit is a conservative group under Turning Point USA that wants Black Americans to leave or exit the Democratic Party. Its mission is economic independence, nuclear family values, and patriotism. And they're recruiting on historically Black colleges and universities this homecoming season. Now, they have had a presence at HBCU homecoming since 2023, but their tour, called Educate to Liberate, has gotten a lot more attention this year after the murder of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. Some Black Americans online expressed outrage, calling the group's plan to visit HBCUs deeply disrespectful and dangerous.
The fact that you're trying to do this during homecoming is wild and crazy work.
A large majority of African Americans have historically voted Democratic, and many say they want the tradition of homecoming to remain about festivities and community. HBCU homecomings are like a big family reunion, with students and alumni gathering for parades, step shows, and concerts. So I wanted to hear directly from Blexit about why they think it's important to have a presence at homecoming.
I love HBCUs. I think they're rich in history. We have 21 clubs, which means we have students on 21 different universities who say, hey, we believe in the Blexit mission, the Blexit cause. We are willing to do things in the name of Blexit. But then 17 of them have come from us doing Educate to Liberate. Our whole mission is built around doing the hard things, right? If it's a neighborhood that conservatives are like, oh, we're not going to go in a neighborhood, Blexit are like, okay, we'll go. You know, like that's our mentality. We don't have a problem going into the lion's den. That's why we're here. And we're going to make it normal for conservatives to be in these spaces too.
He said this year schools are working harder to block Brexit from coming onto campuses.
Students are great. The faculty and administrators are not as great. Like now where the faculty is more aware that we're coming, they have done everything in their power in most of these schools to keep us from attending. I know we just got kicked off of TSU this past weekend.
Brexit's next stop is Howard University in Washington, D.C. The school emailed students to avoid engaging with outside groups during homecoming. I'll be there on the ground this Friday to see what really happens when Brexit shows up at a HBCU. Follow along for my coverage.
A Brexit spokesperson confirmed the cancellation, saying only that a new date will be announced soon. Spoiler alert, that new date never materialized. But here's what's really telling. This wasn't an isolated incident. According to multiple reports, other scheduled stops at Jackson State, Tennessee State, North Carolina Central, Howard, and Hampton University were also quietly dropped or postponed. Now, to understand why this matters, you need to understand what HBCUs represent. These institutions have always been epicenters of social thought, activism, and innovation. They've produced some of our greatest leaders, thinkers, and change makers. But here's a fascinating historical fact that most people don't know. At one point, you couldn't find any Black professor who was a Democrat on most campuses because Black folks were mostly universally Republican. Why? Because that was the party to free the slaves and establish equality, while the Democrat Party was the party of the Klan. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing the complete opposite. At FAMU, 7 out of 10 students are registered Democrats. The school consistently fields an active chapter of college Democrats. But finding faculty willing to advise a Republican organization? That's apparently impossible.
I'm pro-Black, a self-proclaimed pro-Black conservative, so of course I want to be around my people, even if they don't agree with me.
This senior college student wants to bring something to her HBCU that you can't find at any Black college in the country, a college Republicans chapter.
I believe that Black people are needed on both sides.
The only issue is that she can't find an advisor for the group to be recognized on campus.
I emailed 4 professors so far. 2 have responded, 2 haven't. The 2 that responded said they couldn't do it.
While rare, college Republicans have had homes at HBCUs in the past. As recently as 2016, at least 4 HBCUs had chapters, including FAMU. Today, there are none.
We need an advisor. We can't start it without an advisor.
Sharice recognizes that she is an anomaly, being a Black female Republican. 94% of Black women supported Hillary Clinton in 2016 and 90% supported Joe Biden in 2020.
My whole life I felt different, and I've kind of felt like the outcast, so this is nothing new for me.
Even getting to this point of publicly sharing her desires, she said, hasn't been easy, but she remains determined.
Just because I'm getting sent threats, does that mean that I'm going to change my opinion or leave the school or quit the project that I'm trying to do? No.
At the end of the day, politics is politics. You shouldn't threaten someone's life over it.
FAMU school officials told NBC News that the university would welcome the college Republicans back to campus. However, they noted there are guidelines that would need to be met.
The College Republican National Committee has a presence on nearly 2,000 campuses across the U.S. There are more than 100 HBCUs in the country, but none are home to an active official college Republican club. This raises serious questions about intellectual diversity and free speech on college campuses. What kind of university is completely devoid of political representation across the faculty spectrum? Major universities are supposed to expose students to all sides of issues. They should have professors representing different viewpoints so students can develop critical thinking skills, learn to analyze arguments, and form their own opinions. But when administrations try to make the entire process homogeneous, it defeats the purpose of higher education. College isn't just about raw data. It's about developing analytical thinking, skepticism, and the ability to seek proof rather just believing something because that's how it is. Now here's a theory. The Israel connection behind HBCU cancellations. One compelling theory for why multiple HBCUs simultaneously canceled or quietly dropped Candace Owens' Brexit tour appearances may have less to do with her conservative political views and more to do with her increasingly vocal criticism of Israel and Zionist policies. In recent years, Owens has become one of the most prominent conservative voices questioning unconditional U.S. support for Israel, criticizing Israeli military actions, and challenging the influence of pro-Israel lobbying groups. This shift has put her at odds not just within mainstream conservative thought, but potentially with powerful donor networks that have significant financial relationships with major universities, including HBCUs. Many HBCUs rely heavily on philanthropic donations and grants from wealthy benefactors, foundations, and organizations, some of which have strong ties to pro-Israel advocacy groups or Zionist supporters who view criticism of Israel as unacceptable. If major donors or funding sources made it clear that hosting Owens could jeopardize future financial support, university administrators will face an impossible choice between academic freedom and institutional survival. This would explain why the cancellations happen so quietly and simultaneously across multiple institutions, with vague explanations and no rescheduled dates. Rather than risk losing crucial funding streams during already challenging financial times for higher education, HBCU administrators may have calculated that the potential backlash from donors outweighed the benefits of hosting Owens, regardless of student interest in hearing diverse political perspectives. This theory suggests that the real power dynamics at play aren't about left versus right politics, but about which viewpoints are deemed financially acceptable by the institutions and the individuals who control university purse strings. So what does this mean for HBCU students and the future of these institutions? When you create an environment where only one political perspective is acceptable, you're not preparing students for the real world. In the professional world, these students will encounter people with different political views, different approaches to problem solving, and different perspectives on policy. If they have never been exposed to conservative thought in an academic setting, how will they engage with these ideas constructively? HBCUs have always been about empowerment, critical thinking, and preparing Black students to excel in any environment. But if we're limiting the range of ideas students can explore, are we really serving that mission? The Brexit cancellations highlight a larger question. Who gets to speak on HBCU campuses? And how do schools balance protecting their cultural integrity while promoting intellectual diversity? This isn't about whether you agree with Candace Owens or Brexit's message. This is about whether students should have the opportunity to hear different perspectives and make their own informed decisions. The irony is that By trying to protect students from conservative ideas, these institutions might actually be doing them a disservice. Critical thinking requires exposure to different viewpoints, not protection from them. So here's the bottom line. The Candace Owens HBCU tour cancellations aren't just about one controversial figure or one political organization. They're a symptom of a larger issue affecting higher education, the narrowing of acceptable discourse. HBCU students deserve the same intellectual freedom as students at any other institution. They deserve to hear different perspectives, challenge ideas, and develop their own political philosophies based on exposure to the full spectrum of thought. So what do you think? Should HBCUs provide platform for conservative speakers? Or do they have the right to limit who speaks on their campuses during culturally significant events like homecoming? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure again to subscribe to The Real Tana and hit that notification bell, because we're going to keep covering the stories that mainstream media won't touch. The conversation about free speech on college campuses is far from over, and HBCU students deserve to be part of the conversation, not protect them from it. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dana with the Data, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Dana with the Data. Dana with the Data.